Okay, here we go. Hello and good morning, everybody. My name's Holly Luton from I Go Yoga, and I am so glad to be on this Facebook Live today. I currently have a group of amazing people with me on Zoom and in our private Facebook area who are joining us for a guided meditation on how to overcome self-sabotaging beliefs so you can really step into a life that you love. The only person holding you back, we realise, is you. So we thought that we'd go live in the I Go Yoga group just for the first part of the session so you guys can get an idea, a feel for what it is that we do and what it is that we're delivering. And if, by the end of this video you think, I really want to be a part of that community, I want to get more from this, I want to get involved, then all you need to do is head over to www.igoyoga.com/online and you'll find more information about our timetable, about our yoga classes and meditation practices as well. So today guys, I'm just going to get my music on. Today guys, we are going to be focusing on how to overcome self-sabotaging beliefs so you can get out of your own way and start living a life that you truly love. Now at I Go Yoga, we recognize that knowledge is for the brain and experience is for the body. So it is important that we always start and open our sessions with a discussion on the topic in hand, and then we will participate together through using a breathing technique and mantra, and that way then we are able to really prepare the body and the mind before we then blend into our guided meditation practice. With our guided meditation practice, you will be led by myself for the first part of the session, and then I will leave you to go on your own inward journey to see what amazing things you can discover today. So who's today's practice for? Well, it's for you if you feel like you're constantly beating yourself up, putting yourself down, and maybe constantly telling yourself that you're not good enough. I know I've certainly been there, and from time to time I do find myself going there. Maybe you feel like you're constantly comparing yourselves to those around you, and I know it's so challenging nowadays because we have social media and we have all of these amazing, skillful, talented people out there. It's so easy to put yourself down and feel like you're just not as good as them. Or maybe, you're finding that you're trying to keep yourself busy in the day-to-day activity of things because you're scared and quite fearful that if you slow down, you might have to deal with some deep-rooted issues, thoughts, emotions that maybe you've been suppressing for some time. And now, you're sick and tired of, resisting those thoughts. You're ready to start to flip those thoughts on their head and start to, invite more positive thoughts that are going to impact your life for the better. So today is also for you if you want to start to consider, that your life's direction, where you're going to go, what you'd like to be, what you'd like to do, what you'd like to have in your life. Because when we're willing and able to let go of what we've got, we can then start to invite more good into our lives. So today's session will hopefully bring you some clarity on, maybe what the next 12 months, 6 years, decade is going to look like for you. So just a quick reminder that if you are watching this live, we welcome you to join us. I'm so grateful that all of you are with me today. It means so much to me, honestly, from the bottom of my heart to share this with you. This is my soul's purpose, my soul's calling. So I just want to say that if you do want to go deeper with me, just please do head over to igo-yoga.com/online and you can find so much more information about it there. Okay, so let's get some clarity then. Let's get back on topic. So many of us feel like the world is often against us, but when we actually withdraw and retreat from the external world around us and cut ourselves off from the external stimuli, maybe pretty much like going into lockdown and not being able to go about your day-to-day business, you know, you realize that, you know, you are often your own worst enemy. Yet we spend all of our time pointing the finger of blame and, you know, and not actually taking responsibility for the way that we feel. We're always thinking that it's the boss that makes me feel that way. It's my parents that constantly put me down. It's this life circumstance that I found myself as to why I feel the way that I do. And we're not necessarily taking full responsibility for where we are. And even at times, you know, you may have a very supportive spouse or family member or friend who just constantly trying to lift you up, to empower you, to motivate you into action, but you're so busy in your own head that you can't hear the positivity coming through, because your voice telling you that you're not good enough, that you do not deserve it, that you are not worthy is just so much louder than anything going outside of you. But where do these negative thoughts come from? Where do these self-sabotaging, limiting beliefs come from? Well, you know, they really do stem out of our earliest childhood memories, maybe from our own personal upbringing. And this is because when we were born into this world, our subconscious mind, which is the deepest part of our mind, was wide open. And all of the thoughts, all of the ideas and the images that our parents gave us, our childminders, the children down the street who you played with, the media, and all other sources, impress that information onto you, onto us all, and that is what then formed our belief system. So maybe as a child you were running in a race at school and you lost, you didn't come first place, and your parents sat there on the front row disappointed that you didn't win and told you that you're a loser. Well, it's so easy then to carry that subconscious belief round in your day-to-day life and through into your adult life, and it actually then starts to affect the decisions that you make day to day. There are so many examples that I could give you, so many examples. You know, maybe somebody told you that you were ugly, and now through your life, you know, every time you look in the mirror you find yourself putting yourself down. You just don't feel comfortable in the clothes that you wear, in the skin that you're in. So I just want to take a moment here for you to recognize that these thoughts, these experiences, these limiting beliefs that you have, they are not your own. They were almost certainly given to you. And, you know, quite often, you know, your parents who loved you very much didn't intend for you to carry that negative belief around with you into your adult life, you know, but quite often when we're young, we take everything quite literally. So it's not now to just turn to your parents and blame them for the way that you feel about yourself, but it is now to start to take responsibility and know that we no longer have to entertain these false projections that we are putting out into the world. You know, we're telling ourselves quite often that, you know, I'm too fat, or I'm too thin, or I'm ugly, or I can't do it. You know, I hear my daughter all the time tell me, I can't do it, I can't do it. And I say, no, you can do it, Shanti, you can do it. And now we have a song, and I'll probably share that song with you guys at the end if you're up for it. So it's just about making sure that, you know, you're encouraging yourself every step of the way, but you're also not repeating the same patterns that you have with your children. So maybe you feel like you don't deserve it. Maybe you're constantly telling yourself, I don't deserve, you know, to find love in my life. I don't deserve to make X amount of money. I don't deserve that promotion. You know, I'm not worthy of that. I'm not good enough. I'm not skillful enough. You know, we're constantly telling ourselves these things. Maybe you'll tell yourself you can't meditate, or you're watching this video and you still haven't come to the Igo Yoga studio or participated in one of our online classes because you tell yourself you're not flexible. The amount of times I hear that, guys, I'm not flexible. You know, that in itself is a limiting belief. And if you continue to entertain these limiting beliefs, they will manifest as a part of your reality. These limiting beliefs can be so paralyzing. Just imagine telling yourself you're not flexible. You will never venture out and get the body that you actually love. So the trouble is with this way of thinking is that when we start to think about the same thoughts, the same limiting beliefs over and over and over again, what we do then is we crystallize that same thought into a fact. And this is because consciously, so we have two parts of the mind. We have the conscious part of the mind, which I say is up here, and we have the subconscious part. Now, the subconscious part is the biggest part of us. It's where we spend 95% of our day. This part of the mind is what contains all of our habits, all of our beliefs, all of our ideas, and this is where really our personality resides. So when we think a thought consciously, let's say I'm not good enough, and we think about that over and over again, eventually we start to accept that thought as truth. Now, the subconscious mind, the biggest part of our mind, doesn't have the ability to reject any thought given to it. It actually doesn't even know the difference between what's real and what's imagined, what's truth and what's a lie. So whatever you give to your subconscious mind, it will take as a fact. And that then, I am not worthy, crystallizes into a belief. And that belief forms into habit, and that habit crystallizes into your personality, and then your personality creates your personal reality. So that's really how our thoughts become our things. So it is to recognize that any thoughts that you think over and over again will become rigid in your subconscious mind, and you will keep then replaying those negative thoughts out in your life. So if you tell yourself you're not good enough, there's no wonder you're not getting the promotion. There's no wonder you're not getting the love of your life or the body that you love. You know, you're always constantly holding yourself back. It's not anybody or anything outside of you that is preventing you from moving forward. You are your own biggest competition. So it's time, guys, to get out of your own way. Seriously, it really is. So what I love about meditation is that it gives us an opportunity to really become familiar with what we're thinking about most of the time, and become very familiar with our limiting beliefs. When we find that still place, when we come to that quiet state of mind and body, we're able to physically move beyond this shell that we're in, this temple that we're in. And quite often, that's probably one of the biggest reasons why we have all of these limiting beliefs, because when we look in the mirror, we don't like what we see, and then we just constantly start putting ourselves down. So what I love about meditation is that we're able to move beyond the physical body. We're able to move beyond the sensations that we've been experiencing, the pains, the tension, the discomfort. We're able to move beyond the mind, move beyond the ego, move beyond the need to be somewhere, to do something, to have something, to be better. We're able to free ourselves quite literally of the chains that have been keeping us stuck. And so when we're able to release the body, when we're able to release the mind, we're able to release our identity. All of which we have been identifying, all of the thoughts in which we have been identifying ourselves with, because we are not our thoughts. We are the co-creators of our life, and we have the ability to choose whatever thoughts come in, whether they come from our parents, whether they come from social media, whether they come from a book that you're reading or the news. You have the power to either accept, reject or neglect any thought that is given to you. And when you recognize that you're entertaining a negative thought consciously, you have the power to just throw that back out into the universe, because you don't need to identify with that. When we meditate, we also start to become familiar with the emotions that reside behind the thoughts. Maybe it's anger, maybe it's sadness, maybe it's resentment, guilt, envy, and don't hide from that. What we do in our day-to-day lives, when we feel envy, we hide from that, we resist it, we shun it away and pretend, put a smile on your face and act like everything's okay. But actually with meditation, it allows us to come face to face with these emotions, face to face with these fears, and actually start recognizing them as a way for us to move forward. When we're able to look at what has been holding us back and not be fearful of it, we realize that it has no power over us, and that emotion, that thought begins to dissolve. It has no power over to you. And when we can dissolve what we've been thinking about over and over again habitually, we then create space. And with meditation, we can just sit in that space for as long as we want to. 20 minutes, half an hour, an hour. I know some people have meditated and like 4 hours have gone by before they even got up to go to the toilet, so you can stay there in that peaceful, blissful state. Some people call this going straight to source, the divine, God. Some people call this the absolute. But one thing I know for sure, in this place I experience a deep sense of unconditional love for myself and for humanity. I'm able to move beyond separation. I'm able to really rise above negative thinking and just draw in love, reverence, patience, kindness, compassion. It all just comes through, because that really is our truest, most purest nature. When we can be tender to ourselves, when we can be loving to ourselves, we then are able to realize just how amazing and worthy we are. We really do. So if you want to move into a state of joy, of reverence, and just surrender to the serenity of life, then honestly, meditation is definitely the place where it starts and definitely ends. There is no beginning, no end there. So here I'm going to invite my wonderful yogis to find a comfortable meditation position. And if you're watching this live, I hope you enjoyed it. Please do like, comment, share, tell me, give me feedback. I want to know I can handle it because I meditate. Let us know what your thoughts are. And if you do want to join us in the future, please head over to igo-yoga.com/online, and you can find more about us there. But over and out from us here at the iGo Yoga. You take care, guys. See you soon.